All of this is for us. So let me handle it.
What is outside of Westview?
You don't want to know.
Who's been messing up everything?
It's been Agatha all along.
Man, I love this song. But was it really Agatha all along? Really? Was it? I'd like to propose that the real villain in WandaVision wasn't actually Agatha. From a mental health standpoint, I'm going to say that the real culprit was Wanda's level of maladaptive avoidance.
No.
And I'm going to borrow from the work of Jim Knipe on complex PTSD and dissociation to show that you and I may be doing exactly what Wanda was doing in Westview. Knipe describes psychological defenses as our brain's way of dealing with pain through avoidance. Let me illustrate. Let's say this circle represents our system as an individual. And even though we have many parts inside our system, for our purposes today, let's say that we have at least two parts, a part that wants to live and appear normal, and a part that is in emotional pain. This pain can lead to distortions of perception and can feel completely overwhelming. Sometimes the pain affects our nervous system, putting us into hyper or hypoarousal. Sometimes we're hit with unwanted intrusive images or feelings. Often the pain results in distorted beliefs about ourselves, others, or the world. So it makes sense that the brain constructs barriers, defenses, in order to contain this pain so that it doesn't spill over into our normal life. The important idea here, and this is really the take-home message, is that these defenses allow us to avoid the pain and bring about a sense of immediate relief. Marvel fans know that Wanda's storyline, like yours and mine, contains a lot of pain.
I can't feel you.
Like many of us, she has a lot of loss, a lot of guilt, and a lot of not feeling like she fits into the normal crowd. All of this creates a lot of emotional pain. Now, when you have the powers of the Scarlet Witch, your defenses take on the form of an actual magical hex, in which the real world is shut out, ignored, and replaced by idealized constructs of family sitcoms. And see, we've created a place where the pain is contained, a reality where the hurt can't get to us.
Wanda.
And what Wanda does is not too different from what our brains do when they feel threatened by pain, if not as visually spectacular. We all, to some degree or another, live in a hex of our own making. If all of a sudden I could make the invisible visible, and show you all the ways around us you and I have set up our lives so that we don't have to deal with emotional and mental pain, you would be amazed at how much we are avoiding. We may conveniently forget things, experience dissociation and confusion, push people away who threaten to expose us again to our pain. And our brain may even decide to, without our permission, edit our very perceptions.
Something's wrong here, Wanda. Yes, I know what you mean.
Our brain is very clever and powerful when it comes to constructing these defensive mechanisms. Now, do we do this consciously and deliberately? Sometimes. But more times than not, it is helpful to think of these defenses as unconscious, reflexive responses to what feels threatening.
My husband and his indestructible head.
The real problem with avoidance, though, is that the positive feelings of relief we get from employing them is dysfunctional. They can actually keep us from resolving the pain and the trauma.
She had a rush.
Like a patient who flinches and pulls back from a doctor's touch, defenses make it difficult to heal our emotional wounds, our trauma, or whatever the problem is we're avoiding. Because until the defense is resolved, we can't get to actually treating the trauma and the pain. Defenses and avoidance keep us from moving forward and seeing things as they really are. They keep us from fully healing. In WandaVision, we watch as reality emerges bit by bit for Wanda.
I'm a twin. I had a brother. His name was Pietro.
Each piece of reality edges her closer to understanding how and in what ways she's been avoiding. Over time, she's able to lower her defenses, acknowledge her pain, accept it, and move forward.
It's just gonna drown me.
No. No, it won't.
How do you know?
Well, because it can't all be sorrow, can it? I've always been alone, so I don't feel the lack. It's all I've ever known. I've never experienced loss because I've never had a loved one to lose. But what is grief, if not love persevering?
The so what here is that when we're noticing we're avoiding, when we feel a little bit of resistance in ourselves, when approaching a person or a place or a situation, we may benefit from asking ourselves what may be on the other side of that defense, that resistance. What is the belief we have about ourselves or the world that is causing us to avoid? We can be curious about that. We may think that our problem has been someone like Agatha all along, but in reality, Agatha or that person may just be bringing up some unresolved emotional pain that needs some attention. It may turn out to be that our real problem is something that we've been avoiding all along.
Of me as a white knight on his steed. Now you know how happy I can be. Oh, and our good times.
Somebody better be bleeding, broken, or on fire.
Whoa, Mom! Are you old Red Riding Hood?
I'm a Sokovian fortune teller.